Quick, leave a like and subscribe in the next 5 seconds if you guys want to see the whole decrypted mystery of the Fortbyte puzzle. Yo, what is going on guys? Welcome back to a brand new Fortnite Battle Royale video here on my channel. So the Fortbyte puzzle is the biggest mystery of Season 9, ultimately upon its completion uncovering every mystery contained throughout Fortnite up until now and throughout this current season. From the parts revealed so far, we are able to determine that it corresponds with things to do with the storyline that either are happening, like the cube, or are happening right now, such as this eye at Polar Peak. Who knows what other secrets are held within Season 9 that are going to be uncovered upon the completion of this puzzle? Well, look no further than today's video, because I've actually completed, with leaked data mine puzzle parts that aren't in the game yet, this whole Fortbyte puzzle, and I'm going to be explaining how it corresponds to live events occurring within the game, whether they've previously happened or are happening, and how it's basically developing Fortnite's storyline into the future. So make sure you're sticking around and watching the full video today, because this is definitely one that you guys aren't going to want to miss out on. Very quickly before we get into any more of the video, I'd just like to quickly mention that 60% of my demographic, even you guys watching this video right now, aren't subscribed. So make sure if that's you and you haven't clicked the big red button to subscribe, slap that big red button right now, and whilst you're at it, turn on the post notification bell, because this can only help your odds of winning the monthly giveaways that I host on the channel. Speaking of giveaways, this month we're running a 2,800 free V-Buck giveaway to one lucky subscriber who is going to win this prize on June 20th, 2019. Here's how you guys can enter for a chance to win. All you need to do is leave a like in this video down below, subscribe to the channel with post notifications turned on obviously, and actively use my creator code on screen right now, code FriendlyMachine, in the item shop for all your purchases, and make sure to check to re-enter if it's reset, because it does reset every 2 weeks. In case you guys happen to forget my code and need to re-enter it at any point throughout the video, it will remain on screen in the top left hand corner throughout the full video's duration. Anyways, with all that out of the way now, let's get into uncovering and completely decrypting the Fortbyte puzzle in its whole form. Starting from the beginning of ultimately explaining this complete mystery or mess of the Fortbyte puzzle, we need to ultimately understand the start of Season 9 and how we got here. So firstly, the volcano erupted during the Nexus event, striking 3 areas: Tilted Towers, Retail Row and Polar Peak. Upon this happening, Peely and Bunker Jonesy, or Jonesy at the time, panicked and went into this bunker, but it seemed that there was not enough food to sustain themselves, so Bunker Jonesy, that turned into Bunker Jonesy anyways during this time of lurking around in this bunker for a very long time, ate Peely or drank him as a smoothie. But how long was Bunker Jonesy, or Jonesy turning into Bunker Jonesy, trapped within this bunker? Here is an image on screen right now that goes very in depth. I'm not going to read it all out, but I'll keep it on screen. But as you guys can see, it ultimately concludes that this means that Jonesy was stuck inside the bunker for 8 years, 5 months and 5 days. Ultimately dependent on the fact of deciphering his height and corresponding that height with the beard length and everything that grew off of Jonesy as the normal default skin character. From looking at this image also, you guys will be able to see the pink paint on Bunker Jonesy's arm, which is actually on the skin itself, so you guys may have noticed it in game if you own Bunker Jonesy or came across the character. Interestingly enough, upon the entrance of Jonesy and Peely to this bunker, he was not covered in paint, obviously being just a default skin, and upon being found by the Sentinel skin, had pink paint and the Peely smoothie. So this ultimately means that this Fortbyte puzzle or drawing was something that Bunker Jonesy drew and created during his time spent in this bunker, which was over an 8-year period, ultimately giving him time to reflect of everything going on or what he saw up until when this volcano erupted. The reason we know Bunker Jonesy is responsible for the drawing of this Fortbyte puzzle that ultimately needs to be uncovered in its whole form is because, well, he's included throughout it and has the same pink paint showcased on him as what he included throughout many drawings on this Fortbyte picture. In the Season 9 trailer, you can clearly see that Bunker Jonesy, or Jonesy back then, are clearly distraught and thinking that the world is going to end, making themselves trapped themselves inside this bunker. After all that time passing of Jonesy being trapped in the bunker, he ultimately wanted to record the events of everything he's seen, because, I mean, Jonesy, the default skin, has been around ever since the start of Fortnite. This way, upon any life forms finding him or any sign of intelligence anyways, they would be able to basically decipher this puzzle themselves, as well as us, of what's happened during Fortnite's existence. With Jonesy looking like a caveman and ultimately resembling one through his actions, questions, he drew and went crazy on the wall like the caveman he now seemingly is, Bunker Jonesy, and drew the entire Fortnite storyline or events of which he's seen exclusive to his eyes only seemingly because he believes he's the last living form on the Fortnite realm, and this exclusive insight can ultimately give us an idea of why the volcanic eruption occurred and what is going to happen because of it. The drawing I'm about to show you guys without any blur in its raw form, the complete Fortbyte puzzle, won't obviously contain every secret recorded throughout Fortnite's history because we wouldn't be able to contain that on one screen anyways or have it condensed into this small of a drawing form. This image contains, as you guys can see, some major events that are ultimately pinnacle to the storyline right now. We have Kevin the Cube that's been a rhetorical conscience throughout every season, even if it isn't a direct storyline prospect in that particular season because it literally blew up towards the end of season 6 during the butterfly event. We also have Tilted being hit by the meteors. As you can see, we now have this eye in the bottom left corner of the puzzle itself, which we know is the left eye, ultimately making sense because it looks like a left eye here and is determined in the game's files, the Catus event, to be the left eye underneath Polar Peak in the iceberg of a big monster. And then finally in the right corner we have another monster which may be a development made or a protagonist implemented or enemy toward the end of season 9 or as a result of the outbreak of this Catus monster trapped underneath Polar Peak's iceberg. Many of you may be thinking, well, this isn't exactly what the Fortbyte puzzle will look like upon it being fully revealed. Well, I can explain. Obviously here I've basically just reused squares for particular places where an event isn't directly drawn over. As you guys will be able to tell, the main events here, as I previously mentioned, is Tilted being destroyed, the cube, the eye, and obviously this monster in the bottom right. If we look at the Fortbytes revealed until now that obviously are in the game, not just the game's files, you can clearly see that in these gaps we will not be able to have a recorded event here that has something large to do with the storyline based off the other size of large involvement recordings. Speaking of large involvement recordings, what do we have? Well, as previously mentioned, the cube that's already happened and exploded may be returning during the later part of this season, we're yet to know, but that's besides the point. That's in the unknown, and we obviously also know it's brought to our attention that Tilted was hit, like shown in this drawing, with a shower of volcanic rock and magma. From going off this order of events, it leads us until now the bottom left of this drawing, the eye that's attached to a monster that's trapped or frozen below Polar Peak. The first reveal that we would be seeing a creature frozen below Polar Peak was indicated, leaked within the game's files, this Catus eye, which was then later implemented in most recent times below Polar Peak's castle, frozen in the bottom layers of the iceberg, following players around upon standing near or moving around it. This not only implies a living creature but also determines that the files in-game are to be trusted regarding this Catus event. As previously mentioned, this is only the left eye of this whole creature according to the game's files, and we're yet to be revealed to a large monster based off the size of this eye. Now that we know the files are to be trusted, well, it only further encourages the fact that this is a giant creature, considering there are texture coding files for the head and even states this creature as an enemy. Reflecting this back to our Fortbyte puzzle, it's clear to distinguish that the two are connected, ultimately meaning that Bunker Jonesy has some sort of encounter with this frozen creature before or knew of its existence. Maybe this drawing was a forewarning to anybody who perhaps found it of this creature or future events that could happen due to his knowledge of all these previous events, why they occurred, and ultimately the aftermath of them. As of right now, the only mysteries or secrets we're able to decrypt based off subtle things implemented, like the pieces to this Fortbyte puzzle being placed in the way they are, revealing pictures that we only know are inevitably happening in the game, such as this eye. There are going to be further, deeper mysteries throughout this season, such as when the Utopia skin codename is revealed or available to unlock for the first time. As you guys know, we need to collect 90 Fortbytes in order to unlock this for the first time, 18 being implemented on the very first day or launch of Season 9, leaves us firstly being able to unlock it the very first day upon completing or collecting all 90 Fortbytes as soon as 90 are released, will be July 20th, 2019. The reveal of this skin will bring closure and answers to many questions asked about the storyline. One of the main questions we need answering right now, however, is the involvement of this character displayed as a statue at Neo Tilted. This mask, does it look familiar? Well, it should do, considering it was placed on the table during the Season 8 Nexus live event. Is this character being commemorated, honoured, and ultimately remembered for slaying some sort of beast during this volcanic eruption, or bringing a stop to it? Either way, I guess we're yet to know. If you want to stay up to date with more decrypted mysteries, then make sure you're leaving a like on the video down below and subscribing to the channel if you also enjoyed this video. One final thing you guys can do to support me even further is actively use code FriendlyMachine that's been on screen throughout the video in the Fortnite item shop for all your purchases. And remember, if you want to support me consistently, make sure you check in if it's reset, as this code resets in your item shop automatically every 2 weeks. Hopefully I can see you guys in the comment section of my future videos by staying active on the channel and me recognising you. I'm out. Have an amazing rest of your day or night wherever you are, whenever you're watching. Have a good one, take it easy, and as always, peace.